Virgo, this is a week of huge changes. Okay, let's get into it. Virgo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. In this video, I'm going to go over the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your bottom line. We're going to start really broad, Virgo, with the things that are impacting everybody. And then we're going to focus on those things that especially all Virgos should pay attention to. And then we're going to get into the specifics of how the astrology plays out in your own personal life. And how do I do that? I'm going to break it down into decans. Now, a decan is a group of 10 degrees. So that means there are 3 in each zodiac sign because all zodiac signs have 30 degrees. All astrology is based on geometry, and a root of geometry is angles. Angles in astrology create what we call aspects, which are the energy that is generated because different planetary bodies are in a specific angular distance from the other. So it's sort of a relationship. And based on those aspects, I will know how they are impacting your natal sun based on which decan your natal sun is in. If your natal sun falls between 0 and 9 degrees, you are Virgo 1s. If your natal sun falls between 10 and 19 degrees, you are Virgo 2s. And if your natal sun falls between 20 and 29 degrees, you are Virgo 3s. You don't have to know where your natal sun is located because I will, throughout this video, tell you an estimate of the correlating birth date. So all you really need to know is your birth date. But to get the most accurate read, please do go get a natal chart. It's free online. You'll need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location. And then you can plug that information into any number of free natal chart generators that are out there, and they'll spit out a full natal chart for you so you'll have all your placements. And if you love astrology, that is the perfect place to start, your natal chart. So, the big stuff that's happening. We have a full moon eclipse today. The full moon is in Scorpio, which makes it even huger because these are dynamic changes and shifts based on toxins and repressed crap that we've held on to for way too long. This could also mean physical toxins as well. As you know, or maybe you don't know, all full moons are direct opposition to the sun. That's how the moon is full. It gets the full reflection of the sun. So the sun is in Taurus. So this is happening. The full moon is happening at 15 degrees Scorpio. The sun is at 15 degrees Taurus. It's in a loose conjunction with Mercury retrograde and a close, like 3-degree conjunction with Uranus while this happens. Simultaneously, while this is happening, Pluto is square to Jupiter, which is square to Mars, and Pluto is in opposition to Mars. This is almost like the vice grip that squeezes with the mechanical vice to push out this painful toxin. This is going to be an explosive full moon eclipse, and it's going to change everything with huge revelations, like eureka moments of information that may have been hidden or looked over, but now because of Mercury retrograde, it is discovered. It is huge, and we'll discuss how it particularly impacts you guys, or which ones of you it is going to impact the most. Another big thing that's happening this week is Venus. Venus is transiting from Gemini, where it is in a natal square to you guys, into Cancer, where it is going to be sextile throughout the next 4 weeks. Venus will sextile each of your natal suns. That is a blessing over this next month. It is a beautiful and optimistic, very pretty and charismatic energy that will be helpful over these next few weeks. So that is a very good thing. Venus tends to be very happy in Cancer and take relationships and longevity very seriously. She's very tender-hearted and very unconditionally loving, but of course she's also moody as fuck. It is what it is. Venus, while she moves into Cancer, is square to Neptune. She will eventually, when she's at the end of Cancer, become trine to Neptune. Square to Neptune, she's kind of rose-colored glasses. She's really not. She'll believe anything. but I think she'll get smarter as she goes along. Another huge transit, which we kind of touched upon, is this Pluto-Jupiter vice grip. I call it the roto-rooter because there's no way it's not going to unclog the gunk that is happening right now. So picture it in the sky. Pluto is in 0 degrees Aquarius. Jupiter is at like 28 degrees Aries, which puts it at a square to Pluto. And then Mars is at 21 to 22 degrees Cancer, which puts it in a loose opposition right now to Pluto and a loose square to Jupiter. This is big energy. It's almost freaking combustible. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's just relentless. It's relentless. And it's relentless to the point where it can get ruthless. That means, not only is it going to unclog the drain, but if its only choice is to take out the entire drain and explode the whole pipe, it will. But that clog won't exist anymore. That's the kind of energy. And that could be why it could really be painful and really hurt for some people, but it'll hurt so good, inevitably. It will be a huge release that we're all able to experience. So this is a very cathartic week and a week that will lead to healing. Now, and transcendence, as all Scorpio energy does. For those of you, I also want to say there's a grand trine this week between Saturn, Venus, and the South Node. And I wrote down this note: lovers or money that was supposed to be yours will come to you. This is a sense of a piece from the past, trine and balance. It's like repayment to something that was imbalanced or unsettled from the past, which is the South Node. So huge, intense change and inevitability about this week. Blessings as well as intense, almost like expulsion. Let's get into what is going to impact Virgos specifically. Well, Virgos, you should always focus on Mercury. It moves pretty darn fast. It moves faster than the sun, but not as fast as the moon. There is this energy about Mercury retrograde that is inquiring while simultaneously frustrating. It does kind of rattle a lot of chains because a lot of chains deserve to be rattled, as you well know. You can't pick it apart if it functions right. If it doesn't work, that's when it breaks, and that's when Mercury retrograde will expose. Mercury retrograde is in Taurus. It will retrograde from 8 to 6 degrees Taurus this week. The retrograde is slowing down because by the week after, on the 15th, Mercury will post direct. So its retrograde is slowing down. Now, don't let it deceive you. When the retrograde slows down at the end of the retrograde, it actually like whips its tail like a dog's tail. Retrogrades are very much like, think of a dog. You have the bite up here, up front, and then you have the tail whipping in back. So the body is just itchy and scratchy. It just is what it is. But it's the beginning, like the few days or the week before the retrograde starts, that will really bite you in your ass. And it's the tail end that will whip you unexpectedly because you think it's over. That's how retrogrades are. So we're coming more toward the tail end of it now, so it might whip you and surprise you. It is conjunct to the North Node, so it is future focused, and it is sextile to Saturn, so it wants opportunities when it comes to law, when it comes to regularity, when it comes to career. It is squared to Pluto. Mercury is in a loose square to Pluto, which means it is intense. It is inquiring. It is doing investigatory, almost private eye kind of work, and it is going to get to the bottom of shit. It could almost go down a rabbit hole. And then it is going to get into the toxins of things too. And then it's also sextile to Venus this week, which means that it's revealing opportunities, like legal things and financial money things or commitment things, value things that have to be revealed. It's opening up opportunities this week. Let's get into the decans. Virgo, if you are in Decan 1, so Decan 1 in terms of the dates, oh my God, this hair, I'm so sorry, it's distracting. In terms of the dates, That's pretty much, hold on, August Virgos. So anywhere from like the 21st, 22nd through the 29th or 30th of August, you are definitely Virgo ones. You guys, your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn, which means just something is grinding on you. Maybe you've been working really hard. There's a lot of frustration when it comes to obligations. You're putting a lot of pressure and weight on yourself, and it doesn't feel like anything is ever going to be good enough. It's very productive energy, but it's very stressful energy, so you really need some release and decompression time. That's going to be happening for the next year, so you better make some self-love and self-care part of your regular routine, because you are going to be grinding for the next year. Your natal suns are trine to the North Node, which is also a long-term aspect. You are future focused, and you're really pressuring yourself and being hard on yourself to get there. Mercury retrograde, your natal suns are trine to it. So things are going to be discovered or come up, or you're going to realize, and it's going to work for you. It's going to benefit you, or it's going to harmonize you in some way, even if it is just to slow your ass down and make you stop because you don't want to break yourself. And then we have this week a sextile to Venus. So expect a very romantic and prosperous week, opportunities opening up to you in value systems like charisma, beauty, elegance, as well as maybe finance and having a little extra money in your pocket to spend. It's a good time to date. It's a good time to redo your beauty, have a day of beauty, redo your house. It's a good time to make big purchases if that's in your plans. Definitely wonderful energy this week. And a long-term aspect for you guys is this quincunx to Pluto, which means change is frustrating you. It's frustrating the crap out of you. It's like it can't come too quickly, but it's also putting a lot of pressure and insistence on you. That's going to be happening for the next couple of years, so just be prepared. Virgo 2s. It's you guys that have direct interaction with this full moon. You guys are sextile to this full moon. So whatever is popping off or popping out, that is going to help you. It is going to post opportunities for you. It is going to enable a huge breakthrough for you. This is exactly the kind of energy that you've been waiting for, and you've probably been feeling this building up for a while. This is when the pimple pops and releases the toxin so you can get to the bottom of the infection. Your natal suns are trine to Uranus and the Sun. The conjunction between Uranus and the Sun will be perfect on, I believe, the 9th of this week. And your natal suns will be trine to that, which means eureka, discoveries, brilliant minds, like unexpected discoveries, technology working out for you, really nice breakthroughs that are helping to put things into your life back in balance, helping you harmonize things, or you'll really understand it. You'll like intuitively pick it up. It won't be difficult for you to incorporate into your daily routine. A long-term transit for you guys is this quincunx to Chiron. That's a very frustrating energy. Frustrating because it makes you question your self-worth. It also kind of won't let you be. It's like always revisiting the past, or always worried about the past, or always worried about suffering and the sadness, and maybe it's driving you forward, but it's also very stressful. So this is a time to really start to find purpose in the past, in the pain and suffering, and also get into a really regimented self-care routine that helps remind you of your value and your self-worth. Virgo 3s. So Virgo 2s, let me just go back for a second. You would be between, say, the 1st of September to the 10th of September. That's estimating. But Virgo 3s, you are like the 11th through the 21st. So it's maybe the last 10 days of the season. Your natal suns have a long-term aspect opposition to Neptune. That is really distracting energy. It's very creative energy. It's like your sun is constantly stimulated, so use it. Because if you don't use it, it will use you, and it will use you badly by leading you to believe anything and fall for anything, and also lose yourself in delusions. So instead of getting into conspiracy theories, write a fucking book about the conspiracy theories. Write the goddamn next Da Vinci Code. You guys have the ability to do it. Use the energy instead of letting it use you. That's what I mean, because this is long term, so you've got the time. This week, your natal suns are sextile to Mars. That means you will be invigorated. You'll have a lot of physical energy. There'll be a lot of opportunity for you to be very sexual and physical and very forward. So you won't mind being direct at all this week. But in terms of Venus, there is a square to your natal suns, which means don't spend too much money. You might try to overcompensate for the way you're questioning your own value by spending too much. This is not a good time to start a new relationship or go out on dates. Definitely don't change any aesthetics in your environment or to yourself, because you'll be acting on impulse of wanting to fit in or please people, and it won't end up being what you end up loving. So just wait for a week and a half. Your natal suns are also quincunx to Jupiter. Quincunx to Jupiter is it's invigorating, but it's frustrating. It's like things are happening too fast for you. And the only way to really roll with this energy is to just sort of let it roll over you and realize that you don't have to keep up with your mindset or like your hyperventilation. You aren't obligated to grow that quickly. You are growing. So a great way to deal with this is gratitude exercises. So saying what you're grateful for and what you realized you're blessed with, so you don't feel rushed or that you deserve more or that you need more, because that's what this kind of energy can lead to. Just an FYI. I love you guys. This is huge and intense changes that are happening, mostly to improve your situation, but either way, they're taking the reins out of your hands this week. So I wanted you to be prepared for it and also know that good things are going to come from it, largely. Leave your comments below, because I love to know how you're experiencing this energy, Virgo. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Great information that comes out over here every single week for all 12 zodiac signs. And please come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card reading, which is far more intuitive and psychic. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.